So from the last episode, we finished the Firefly's memory, and now we have ended the first summer, which I would look like seeing as ending the actual first episode of this beautiful visual story. So we're going to continue from here, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your mums, Lizzie and Cove, as the five of you watched the sun dip into the ocean, somewhere far, far away. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping centre street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we are so dull. Let's get out more. He didn't do real magic, Mum. How did you figure that one out? Cause I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie dear. There's all kinds of magic in the world. Lizzie gave Mummy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. I'm not going to select this one at the bottom. Mum looked down at Lizzie with a sigh as she continued pleading. We'll help with dinner tomorrow.
Please.
Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot into the ground. Well,
No.
oh come on Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mummy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that Lizzie was very close to victory.
Okay.
Alright. But as soon as dinner's ready, you lot are coming inside, understood? Yes, Mum. Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. You grinned at Cove and nudged his arm with your elbow. Cove gave a non-committal shrug to your mummy, which you took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get the seashell bracelet at the Tins and Trinkets. Oh, or maybe the playground. Or the Fireflies will probably be coming out, right? Don't I get a say in this? You silently made your own plans. We can't go that far, I am going home. I would, in this situation, go and make my own plans. Lizzie had her own idea of what she wanted to do, but what were you going to do? You glanced over to Cove, considering. A strong gust of wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself.
Rude.
Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mothers had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots of plans if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cove was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. We'll stay with Cove and see why he's heading towards the beach. Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return.
Cool.
He made a little gesture as you interpreted as follow me, and then started heading to the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something he quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. It was a pretty good toss. So you can't skip rocks into the ocean. What are you doing? You looked for your own rock. I don't see a problem if you're not throwing it at anyone. Deciding to join Cove, you searched nearby for any rocks or shells that you could throw too. You found a shell that would suit your purposes, a smile growing as you tossed it as hard as you could. It landed with a wet-sounding thunk a few feet away and slipped into the water. When you looked over at Cove, you didn't seem to notice that his throw had been more impressive. Cove was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface, even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
I have to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. How did you get it? Which means how did you unfortunately break your arm? Or when do you get it off? Let's go with more the friendly approach. Cove shrugged and didn't say anything. For a second, you thought maybe he didn't know, but finally, he sighed. A few weeks, that's not very long at all. It is kinda long in my opinion. That is a while away. You didn't think a few weeks was bad. You hoped the upcoming weeks flew by for Cove. It was clear how badly he wanted it off. Cove let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool, you're going to like it. Everyone's super nice. You only ever been to one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Cope shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them into his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realised that his eyes were wet, probably very nervous about going to a new school. And remember, he just moved here as well, so he's experiencing all these new things.
I want to go home.
You never had to move before, but you thought you could understand. If you had to go to a new school all of a sudden, with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understand, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. Cove gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right. Cove wanted to go back to his old home. The one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one that he would bring up wherever he felt this sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. Do you hate it here? We could already kind of see he does, so that would be kind of a rhetorical question. This could be your home, or it will be alright. It's a really nice home if you give it a chance. Cove didn't respond to that. He just tightened his arm around his knees, resting his chin on them. You're not going to leave, right? You'll still be around? The question was a little surprising. We either go, of course, or I don't know. We could rather give him certainty, but we can't guarantee it, or we could be honest, but it's kinda uncertain. I would rather be very frank and honest in my total opinion. Probably, I think, you were pretty sure your mums would tell you if you were going to move, but the way Cove asked, so hesitant and vulnerable, made you feel a little uncertain to make a promise you might not keep. That's what I was thinking as well. After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You were fine with him changing the subject again. Yeah, that would be fun. Cove smiled, then looked back at the waves. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'll feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. You spared a glance over at Cove and saw the anger had slipped off his face in favour of something more puzzled. But maybe that'll be okay after all. As long as I really do feel better, I can't see it. You could remember a long time ago when you first started going to school. You absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for most of the day, to listen to strangers tell you what to do, and sit with kids you never met before. Things changing is hard. Let's be a friend and comfort him. You're not quite sure what to say to that, so instead you reach out and take hold of Cove's hand. The one closest to you is the one on his cast, so you made sure you were very gentle. As you watched, Cove's eyes got a little misty once more. You got the feeling that they were different tears than the ones than before though. I hope next summer I'll surf and go exploring, and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You will. It will. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You hope that Cove will be able to accept this new place as his new home. You definitely tried to help, in what ways you could. There were so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't even seen yet. Lost in thought, you startled a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound. The sound of your mum shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realising it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off of yourself. My mums are calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expressions screaming reluctance. Yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Lani, thanks. It was nice where you were right then. But the two of you couldn't stay there on your own little world any longer. You're being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Okay, so it looks like here we got an option if we want to change our character yet again. I might change her a little bit, but I'm going to do it off the recording or this episode. And for this episode, I'm actually going to end it here because it's a nice little ending before we start the next section or chapter of this beautiful story. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this little ending of Summer Ended. If you love these types of videos, you can give a like up. And to see more content like this, as well as enjoy my own commentary, you can click on the subscribe button below. But for now guys, I'm going to be off. Have a great day and see you in the next one.